What if I told you that your presence in this precise instant, hearing these words, absorbing this message, was never a random accident? Pause and let that thought resonate. Consider the possibility that every late-night search, every impulsive click, every seemingly meaningless detour that brought you here was not born from chance, but from an invisible orchestration. Imagine a cosmic algorithm woven into the very architecture of the universe, an algorithm that does not respond merely to what you consciously ask, but to who you have already become at the deepest strata of your being. What if your arrival here is not the result of coincidence, but of inevitability? This moment is not random. It is consequence. It is proof. The fact that these words found you out of billions of possible combinations means that your inner reality has already shifted. This is not speculation. It is evidence. This message is a checkpoint carefully inscribed into the map of your soul long before your human awareness caught up to it. Your spirit knew you would arrive here. This encounter is not the beginning of change, but the confirmation that change has already reached the threshold of manifestation. You are not a seeker stumbling through the dark. You are the one being sought, pulled forward by frequencies you set in motion without even realizing it. The sensation you feel right now, the strange electricity of being caught between the familiar and the unknown, is the tangible proof that the transformation within you has already achieved critical mass in the invisible quantum field. The fatigue you carry, the yearning you cannot silence, the sense of standing with one foot in the old world and one in the new. This is not failure. This is the vibration of expansion, the friction of consciousness evolving beyond the parameters of its former cage. The effort you feel is the energy required to sustain a vibrational bridge between two realities, the one dissolving and the one already crystallizing. Think of it like this: your unique energetic signature, the symphony of electromagnetic waves generated by your persistent thoughts, your stubborn emotions. Your deepest longing has shifted so dramatically that the universe itself has had no choice but to reconfigure around you. This video, this voice, these words, they are not the cause of your change. They are the echo. They are the audible, visible residue of a future that already exists, pulling you toward itself with magnetic inevitability. At the quantum level, your leap is not pending, it is complete. You are no longer broadcasting your desire into silence. The field has received the signal, and it is already responding. What you feel now is the collapse of possibility into reality. And yet, you know the feeling well, the feeling of inhabiting two worlds at once. Part of you already lives inside the future you crave. That part has touched the fabric of abundance, tasted the fullness of love, experienced the serenity of unshakable inner peace, breathed the vitality of perfect health. But each morning your eyes open to a mirror that still reflects the residue of an old story. The exhaustion creeps in because your outer experience lags behind your inner knowing. You meditate. You affirm. You visualize with all your might. And sometimes it feels like screaming into a soundproof chamber, waiting endlessly for an echo that never seems to return. That fatigue you carry, however, is not the tiredness of the body. It is the fatigue of the soul, holding the tension of coherence, holding the line between two radically different states of existence. But understand this: the tension is the proof. It is not a punishment. It is the signature of expansion. Just as the particle in quantum physics must enter a superposition, an impossible state of holding multiple potentials at once before collapsing into a new form, so too must your consciousness endure this strange suspension. You are both here and there, both old and new, both past and future. That is why the experience is so raw, so uncomfortable, so disorienting. It is not a malfunction. It is the tuning process. The static between two radio frequencies is not a flaw in the radio, it is the sound of alignment. You are aligning now. The exhaustion you feel is the cracking of an old structure, the collapse of a reality that no longer serves you, the final groans of a system that cannot withstand your new vibration. Every ounce of resistance, every contradiction in your life is not evidence that you are stuck. It is evidence that you are moving. It is the friction heat of a rocket leaving the atmosphere the final resistance before breaking into the freedom of open space. The universe has always been listening, and your soul has always been guiding. What you sense as delay is actually acceleration beyond the comprehension of linear time. You were not guided here to initiate change. You were guided here because the change you sparked within yourself has already reached its tipping point in the invisible field. You are no longer just a transmitter of signals. You are now the receiver. The echo has returned. The wave has collapsed. The miracle is already in motion. What is left is not effort, but recognition. The frustration you carried was never the signal of failure, but the evidence of two worlds overlapping. One dissolving, one solidifying. Like two stations playing at once before the dial lands firmly on the one you desire. What you called interference was the music of your evolution. So let this message anchor you in truth. You did not find this moment by chance among billions. This precise encounter is evidence of alignment. Your frequency acted as the perfect filter. You are the receiver tuned exactly to this wavelength at this exact instant because your new state of being demanded it. You are not on the brink of transformation. You are standing in the middle of it as it unfolds through you and around you in perfect coherence with the universe itself. It begins here in this exact moment with the first clear materialization of your new state, a tangible echo from the future reality you have already birthed. This is not just another message on a screen. It is the resonance of a deeper truth. In this journey together, we will dive beneath the surface and explore the quantum mechanics that underpin the phenomenon you are experiencing. You will not merely grasp the concept intellectually, you will feel in the fibers of your body and the rhythms of your breath that reality is nothing more and nothing less than the living mirror of your energy. We will decode step by step the mystery of what I call the echoes of future reality. And in doing so, you will begin to see that this idea has the power to forever redefine how you move, how you perceive, and how you interact with the very fabric of the universe. These echoes are not abstract. They manifest in the repetition of numbers you stumble across without explanation, in the chance remark of a stranger that perfectly answers the unspoken question that has been circling in your heart, in the uncanny synchronicities that leave you stunned in silent recognition. Once you learn to identify them, you will realize they have always been present, quietly marking your path like luminous breadcrumbs. And the real gift is not learning how to manufacture them, but how to receive them fully, consciously, openly. For the moment, you shift from chasing to receiving. The process of materialization accelerates, smooths, and becomes not only faster, but infinitely more pleasurable, as if the universe itself delights in showing you how much it has already conspired on your behalf. Understand that this is not a course in acquiring new information, but an initiation into remembrance. What you are awakening to is not foreign knowledge, but a primordial power that has always been dormant within you, waiting for the call of recognition. The goal is simple and yet profound: to move you from a posture of passive hope into the sovereignty of active recognition. This is where manifestation ends as theory and begins as lived practice. From this moment forward, you will no longer search outside yourself for proof that the process is working. You will instead awaken to the living proof already surrounding you. Evidence scattered in plain sight. Synchronicities. Déjà vu, sudden. Insights all recontextualized as direct communication from the quantum field. Each event, each sign is a data point confirming that the matrix of reality is recalibrating itself according to the new frequency you have been consistently broadcasting. This shift in perspective changes everything. It stabilizes your vibration, erases the gnawing doubt that secretly sabotages your efforts, and transmutes the anxious waiting for results into the serene certainty of knowing you have already arrived. You will begin to speak the language of vibration fluently, to read the patterns of resonance as naturally as breathing, until you become a master interpreter of your own luminous future as it ripples backward through time to greet you. But first, allow me to invite you into a pause. Release for just one breath the constant pressure to figure everything out with the mind. Release the restless need to push, to strain, to force. Inhale deeply, exhale slowly, and simply allow yourself to receive this message as the first undeniable echo of your new reality. Let its resonance settle into your cells, into your heart, into the marrow of your bones, because your soul already knows these words are true. Your arrival here is not the start of a search, but the evidence that the search has ended. You have been found by the very reality you once thought you were chasing. This moment marks both a completion and a beginning, the convergence of arrival and departure, the threshold of a new way of being. Feel it now, the end of the endless hunger, the exhaustion of one more book, one more practice, one more guru. Let the restless seeker within you finally rest. By accepting that this moment itself is a sign, a reflection, a notice of receipt, you shift positions in the game of creation. No longer are you a pawn pushed by unseen forces. You step into the role of the conscious player who understands the laws from above the board. When the mind attempts to dissect or doubt, calm it and allow the peace of recognition to anchor itself in your being. This is not the peace that comes from achievement, but the deeper peace of certainty, knowing beyond any shadow of doubt that what is yours has already begun its journey toward you. And to accelerate this transition, you must release one of the greatest misconceptions about manifestation. You were taught to strive to pull things toward you, to chase abundance, love, or health as though they were distant objects needing capture. But the universe does not operate on the crude mechanics of grasping. The true physics of manifestation flows in elegance and precision. You do not attract what you desire. You resonate with what you already are. Reality does not shift from outside in. It always reflects from inside out. The task before you is not to beg, not to persuade, not to force the universe to give, but to stabilize your inner frequency so powerfully, so coherently, so unwaveringly, that by the very law of resonance, physical reality has no choice but to tune itself to you. This is not fantasy, it is quantum entrainment in its purest form, and it is the very principle upon which your new life now unfolds. You are becoming the dominant frequency, and everything else in your life has no choice but to harmonize with it. This is the secret hidden in plain sight, the key to understanding why your quantum leap is not in the distant future, but already in motion. You have been doing the inner work perhaps more faithfully than you realize. Every moment of clarity, every breath of peace, every spark of genuine joy has sent out a new frequency, a fresh signal into the infinite quantum field. And this field, which is both alive and infinitely intelligent, responds with flawless precision. The question was never whether the universe heard you. The question has always been, how long can you sustain the note of your new reality? Here is where your future self enters not as a vague dream, but as a tangible coordinate in the continuum of time and space. That version of you who already lives the life you yearn for is not an illusion. It is a real point of consciousness exerting even now a gravitational pull on your present. You are not endlessly pushing a boulder uphill, straining against the impossible. You are being drawn forward, pulled upward, carried toward the summit by the magnetic force of your most evolved self. Your energy, this intricate dance between your heart's electromagnetic field and your brain's coherent waves, is like a cosmic tuning fork. The moment you allow yourself to genuinely feel even briefly the emotion of your desire already fulfilled, you strike this fork and it begins to vibrate in purity and coherence. The quantum field. This infinite ocean of unmanifested probabilities is exquisitely sensitive to such coherent vibrations. It does not bend to chaotic noise, to desperate words, to frequencies distorted by fear. It moves inevitably and irresistibly when it encounters a clear and sustained note. The instant you sound that inner note, the field aligns itself by law. Particles shift. Probabilities reorganize. Reality itself begins to shimmer and rearrange into a mirrored reflection of your inner symphony. What you hear and feel as the echo of future reality is the first reverberation from this grand vibrational mirror. Your only task is to sustain the note, not perfectly, not endlessly, but consistently enough that the new overtakes the old. This is the art of cultivating the feeling of arrival even when your three-dimensional reality appears out of tune. It is an act of radical faith declaring with your entire being that the inner world is the cause, while the outer world is only the echo. Each time you choose peace instead of anxiety, gratitude instead of lack, trust instead of doubt, you are holding the fork steady. You are informing the field broadcasting clearly. This is the frequency of the reality I choose. The resistance you feel and the difficulty of holding that tone is nothing more than the old energetic matrix fighting to stay dominant. But persistence dissolves it. Persistence ensures that the new frequency crystallizes into your predominant experience. To feel this even more vividly, let me offer you another image, a metaphor as dynamic as the process itself. Picture your future self, the one already complete, already at peace, already living the fullness of what you are becoming. That self has reached the destination. From that vantage point, it has extended to you a tow rope, an energetic cord, invisible yet unbreakable, anchored in your present. What you feel as restlessness, longing, and yearning is not mere psychology. It is the tension of that rope pulling you forward through the corridors of time. The jolts you feel, the synchronicities that appear, the numbers that repeat, the conversations that seem designed for your ears alone. These are not accidents. They are the vibrations along the rope, reminders that you are in motion. Every coincidence is a coded communication from your future self orchestrating the pull. The echoes of future reality are course corrections sent backward in time. They realign your trajectory when doubt or fear threatens to cloud your sight. When you recognize them for what they are, you stop feeling lost and start feeling guided. You realize you are not wandering through randomness, you are in a process of orchestration managed by the wisest part of your own being. So pause now and reflect honestly. Think back over just the last few days. What synchronicity brushed past you? What number repeated itself with mysterious persistence? What casual word from someone else landed in your heart as if it had been spoken directly for you? What chance? Encounter stirred goosebumps across your skin. These are not trivial. These are jolts on the tow rope signals tugging at your awareness. They are the whispers of your future self saying, I am here. Keep going. The path is correct. By reinterpreting these moments, you activate a higher layer of consciousness. You strengthen the invisible cord. You allow the towing to become faster, smoother, more precise. Yet, hear this caution: the field and your future self do not shout. They whisper. They speak softly through symbols, through subtle alignments, through the gentle hum of resonance. If you drown them in noise, you may miss them. But if you listen, if you attune, if you trust the pull, then every whisper becomes a declaration. Every subtle sign becomes a resounding confirmation. And so you stand now at a threshold where science and spirit meet. The language of resonance. The law of quantum entrainment, the whispers of your future self, they are all describing the same truth. You are not waiting for a leap to begin. You are already in mid-flight. The rope is taut, the note is sounding, the mirror is vibrating. All that is left is recognition. Recognition that you are not alone, that you are not failing, that you are not behind. You are being drawn by inevitability toward the self who has been waiting for you all along. The universe does not communicate with you through giant flashing billboards. It speaks in whispers, in currents of resonance, in feelings that bypass logic and pierce directly into your soul. This is the language of spirit, subtle, refined, precise. And yet, here is where so many seekers stumble. In their hunger for proof, in their desperation for confirmation, the mind begins to fabricate illusions, mistaking the noise of desire for the voice of intuition. The art we must master is discernment for the difference between a true echo of future reality and the self-deception born of anxiety is what separates the graceful flow of manifestation from the endless cycle of frustration, hope, and disappointment. Before we step into that mastery, I want you to anchor a truth deep within reality is not arriving from outside. It is emerging from you. You are not being rescued by something foreign, you are being pulled forward by your own future success. If you have ever felt this invisible tug, this subtle gravitational pull guiding you beyond what reason can explain, then declare it. Write the words, "I feel the pull." This act is not only for the digital algorithm, it is a decree, an energetic signature, a conscious announcement to the universe that you recognize the rope and are willing to hold tight. It is your way of saying, "I see, I know, I am ready." Now that you have glimpsed the mechanism of quantum entrainment, the invisible tow rope connecting you to your realized self, we enter a more refined terrain. Awareness has awakened your mind to the existence of signs, and the moment you know signs exist, you begin to look for them everywhere. This is natural, but it is also dangerous. For the mind, craving security, addicted to proof, can generate illusions projecting meaning onto randomness, weaving desperate stories out of nothing, and calling them guidance. And so the skill becomes learning to tell the difference between genuine signals from the field and the noise of your anxious mind. The quality of your discernment determines the speed of your manifestation. How do you tell the difference? Observe carefully. A false signal, one created by the mind in its restlessness, is marked by excitement. It erupts like an adrenaline spike. It brings a sudden rush of euphoria, a triumphant thought that screams, "Finally, it's happening. I did it." But hidden inside, that excitement is a confession. The confession that you doubted, that you believed it might never arrive, that you were secretly starved for proof. That euphoria is fragile, brittle, born of lack, and it quickly collapses back into anxiety. You begin asking, now, what? How do I hold on to this? What must I do so I don't lose it? And thus, the mind throws you into the cycle of effort, control, and fear. It is a spike of energy that inevitably plummets into a valley, keeping you trapped on the roller coaster of duality, riding high on hope and sinking back into despair. A genuine signal feels nothing like this. When a true echo of future reality, TM, arrives, it does not ignite euphoria, nor does it stir fear. It lands in your body with a resonance of peace, of recognition of inevitability. It feels not like a shocking miracle, but like the most natural unfolding of truth. The response is not, "Wow, unbelievable," but rather a soft and quiet, of course." It is as though a puzzle piece slides perfectly into place, one you didn't even know was missing until the moment of completion. And in that completion, a deep calm spreads through you, the calm of inevitability. This is not excitement. It is remembrance. It is not surprise. It is recognition. To make this even clearer, every true signal carries what I call a seal of authenticity, and this seal is felt not in the mind, but in the body. When the sign is real, you feel it somatically. A warmth in the solar plexus, a loosening in the heart center, a calm descending into the nervous system like a wave of gentle light. Your breath deepens. Your mind softens. Your body says yes before your thoughts can even form words. By contrast, the false signal stimulates only the surface layers, the racing heartbeat, the restless chatter of thought, the manic need to do something. Excitement belongs to the mind, which is rooted in time, always doubting, always searching for proof. Recognition belongs to the soul, which is timeless, which has always known, which simply greets its own reflection when it appears. This is why your body is the most precise instrument. You possess the most faithful lie detector of the quantum field. The mind will always doubt. The soul will always know. A fabricated sign will rattle you with urgency. A genuine signal will ground you in inevitability. One creates anxiety. The other dissolves it. One keeps you grasping. The other reminds you that you are already being carried. And when you begin to trust this difference, when you listen not to the frantic voice of your mind, but to the calm recognition of your body, you step fully into alignment with the whispers of the universe. You stop fabricating. You start recognizing, and you become fluent in the subtle language of your own unfolding destiny. Learn to feel the subtle yet unmistakable difference between the electric agitation of the mind and the resonant peace of the soul. One will shake you with stimulation, the other will ground you with certainty. To anchor this discernment, let us use another powerful metaphor, that of the soul's GPS. Imagine this inner guidance system always active, always calibrated, yet never overwhelming you with detailed maps. The quantum signals you receive are not the full directions for your journey. They are not the destination itself. They are like the gentle, reassuring beeps from your internal GPS, softly affirming you are on the right path. Keep going. Their purpose is not to shock you with revelations that upend your course, but to confirm the wisdom already alive within you, to strengthen your trust in your intuition, and to encourage you to keep walking the very path you felt called to take. This is the essence. A real signal does not destabilize you or make you question everything. Instead, it roots you deeper into self-trust. It whispers, "You already knew this." And yet the false signal fabricated by the restless ego behaves differently. It shouts, it dazzles, it demands your attention. It screams, "Look at me." Here is your external proof that maybe, just maybe, you will get what you want if you keep trying hard enough. But notice the hook. It creates dependency. It conditions you to crave more signs, more proof, more external validation, like an addict chasing the next dose. A true echo of future reality, by contrast, is soft and serene. It whispers with calm familiarity. "See, I told you. This is nothing new. This is simply the reflection of who you have already become." Instead of chaining you to the search for proof, it liberates you. It replaces anxiety with recognition, frenzy with stillness, control with surrender. One type of signal is like a stimulant, quick, exciting, unsustainable. The other is a nutrient, quiet, nourishing, deeply stabilizing. One pushes you into frantic action planning and micromanagement of life. The other invites you into trust, presence, and sovereign cooperation with a process that is already in motion. To make this real for yourself, pause and breathe. Bring to mind the last big sign you believe you received. It could have been a repeating number, a vivid dream, a sentence overheard at just the right moment, or an opportunity that seemed to fall into your lap. Don't analyze it with your mind. Instead, remember how it felt in your body. What was your immediate emotional and physical response? In the hours or days that followed, did the signal leave you restless, desperate for more proof, fearful of losing the momentum? Or did it leave you in a state of sovereign calm? A peace so deep it felt like remembering a truth you had always carried within you. The answer is your personal diagnostic tool. It reveals whether you encountered the noise of the ego or the resonance of the soul. This clarity matters because only through honesty with yourself can you stop sabotaging your own progress. Once you know the seal of authenticity, a signal that carries peace instead of excitement, you arrive at a powerful crossroads. But here is the hidden trap: 99% of people, even the most spiritually aware, sabotage themselves at this exact juncture. They react. Upon receiving a genuine echo, they instantly grab hold of it with their minds. They analyze it, dissect it, announce it, celebrate it with an energy of desperate relief, and rush into planning the next step. And in doing so, they unknowingly reintroduce into the quantum field the very vibration they have been working to dissolve, the vibration of lack of doubt, of effort. Their reaction becomes a subtle act of distrust. Consider what this grasping really says to the universe. Thank you for this crumb of evidence. Now, let me take control and make sure the rest of the loaf arrives. It is an innocent instinct born of conditioning, but it instantly shifts your frequency. You move from the magnetic state of being, the serene presence that attracted the signal in the first place, back into the restless state of doing the struggle, the grasping, the control that belonged to your old reality. And just like that, the reflection begins to blur. Imagine the echo of future reality, TM, as a perfect image shimmering on the surface of a calm lake. Your grasping reaction is like throwing a stone into the water. The reflection distorts ripples and fades. Your true power does not lie in reacting. It lies in sovereign non-reaction. It lies in your capacity to receive the signal with calm recognition to hold the state of peace that allowed the signal to find you. This is the art of sovereign reception, the pinnacle of mastery on the path of manifestation. It is subtle, yes, but decisive. To cultivate it, you must trade the mind's addiction to proof for the soul's quiet certainty. You must be willing to let go of the roller coaster of hope and doubt and instead anchor yourself in the steady current of inevitability. So, breathe deeply now. Make a conscious choice in this very moment. Choose recognition over reaction. Choose calm over frenzy. Choose certainty over proof. If you are ready to step out of the endless cycle of searching and begin to operate from a center of unshakable resonance, declare it. Make a symbolic act. Symbolic. Subscribe not as a spectator, but as a student of your own consciousness. Say to yourself, I am ready to master my resonance. For you have already learned to feel the invisible pull of the tow rope. You have already learned to discern between a true echo of your soul and the false noise of the mind. Now you stand at the highest threshold, called to embody the most delicate yet decisive art, the art of non-reaction, the art of sovereign reception. This is where most falter, but you will not. For now you understand that every grasping impulse is a stone cast into the lake. And now you know that your greatest power is not to disturb the reflection, but to preserve the stillness that makes it visible. The echo of your future reality is already shining upon the calm waters of your being. Hold your peace, and the vision will not only remain, it will solidify, crystallize, and emerge into the full embodiment of your higher self. To internalize this truth at the deepest level, imagine yourself stepping into the role of a quantum gardener. You have already prepared the soil of the quantum field with your clear intentions. You have watered it faithfully with your elevated frequency, with your feelings of gratitude, faith, and quiet certainty. And then, one day, as you walk through the inner garden of your being, you notice the first delicate green sprout piercing through the surface of the earth. That sprout is your signal, your echo, the first material evidence of your unseen work. Now pause and ask, what does a true master gardener do when he sees this sacred emergence? He does not dig up the sprout every hour to see if the roots are developing. He does not panic, fearing the sun may scorch it or the rain may not fall in time. He does not tug on the sprout, trying to force it to grow faster, for he knows that such interference would kill it instantly. The master gardener embodies the art of sovereign reception. He sees the sprout, and his lips curve into a knowing smile. He is not shocked, nor does he cry out in disbelief. He is satisfied, for he knows the sprout is the natural confirmation of laws already set in motion. His only reaction is a nod of gratitude, a calm acknowledgement of inevitability. Then he turns back to his true responsibility, caring for the soil. He waters the garden with trust. He removes the weeds of doubt. He ensures the conditions remain stable and nourishing. He does not force the seed to grow, he trusts its intelligence. He knows the harvest is inevitable as long as he maintains coherence, as long as he sustains the frequency that created the sprout in the first place. Now, hold this image in your mind and visualize it through another metaphor, the posture of your hand. When you receive a signal, if you respond by grasping, by tightening your fist with control, fear or frantic planning, it is like trying to hold water with a closed hand. The harder you squeeze, the faster it escapes. The energy of need, of manipulation, of desperation cannot contain the fluidity of the quantum field. The only way to hold water is to relax, to open your hand into a cup and allow it to rest there in its own time, in its own volume. Your open hand is a living symbol of trust, surrender, and permission. It is the posture of sovereign reception. This open hand posture is the essence of manifestation. It is silent gratitude, a thank you not spoken with lips, but felt with the heart. It is the dignified recognition of one who knows that what is arriving is already theirs by vibrational right. Picture a king or queen receiving homage. They do not leap up in shock or cry out with surprise. They nod with calm authority, knowing the honor is nothing more than recognition of their inherent status. When you receive an echo of your future reality, the universe is honoring you in the same way. Your task is to receive it with that same sovereign grace, with a calm certainty that what you are receiving is not a miracle from outside, but the inevitable reflection of what you have already become. So pause and examine yourself honestly. When a signal, large or small, appears in your life, what is your instinctive reaction? Do you feel an explosion of relief? The desperate thought of finally followed quickly by fear that it might vanish. Do you clutch it mentally, hoping not to lose it? Or do you feel a calm inner smile, a sense of rightness, as if you are simply receiving a delivery you ordered long ago and had already paid for? There is no judgment in your answer, only an opportunity for transformation. Recognizing your habitual reaction pattern is the first step toward transcending it. By choosing the posture of calm reception, you step into the role of architect, not the role of victim. This is what mastery looks like. The art of silent sovereign reception is the graduation point of your evolution. It is what shifts you from being a hopeful passenger on the train of life, anxiously scanning the horizon for proof that you are on the right track, into becoming the engineer yourself, the deliberate architect of reality. The one who knows the destination and trusts the journey fully. No longer are you someone to whom things simply happen. You become the one through whom reality is magnetized into form. You cease to live as a reactor and begin to live as a creator. This is your true power, not to force the world outside to bend to your will, but to become so stable in your frequency that the world has no choice but to reorganize around you. To anchor this lesson into your very cells, place a hand over your heart. Close your eyes. Feel the difference between the clenched energy of grasping and the serene openness of allowing. Notice how your body relaxes when you release control. Notice the quiet power that resides in trust and surrender, in the open-handed reception of what is already yours. This is not weakness, it is sovereignty. It is alignment with the deepest law of the universe. Remember this posture when the next echo of your future appears. Whether it comes as a small whisper or a grand event, receive it with grace, not with grasping. Save this teaching within you as a living resource. Return to it whenever you need to remember how to meet the gifts of the universe, not with desperate excitement but with calm certainty. Not with fanfare, but with dignified recognition. This is the final seal that stabilizes your new reality, the subtle mastery that transforms your entire journey. As we arrive at this moment, take one more deep breath. Feel how far you have come. Recognize that you are not the same being who began this journey. Something has shifted. You are more grounded, more certain, more sovereign. You have learned the posture of the quantum gardener. You have opened your hand. You have remembered that manifestation is not about force, but about resonance. And as you rest in this recognition, know, with absolute certainty, the harvest is inevitable, because you have already become the frequency of its arrival. You arrived here perhaps burdened by a sense of dissonance, the quiet frustration of feeling stuck between the vision you hold within and the reflection you see outside. Yet, now, you carry a new clarity. You recognize that this tension was never stagnation. It was evidence of acceleration. The irrefutable proof that your quantum leap is not a distant possibility but a living reality already unfolding. You are no longer the seeker screaming in a soundproof room. You are becoming the one who hears the echoes of your own vibration reverberating back from the quantum field. Together, we have walked through a profound paradigm shift, shedding the belief that you must struggle to attract something foreign from the outside, and embracing the truth that you only need to stabilize the resonance of what is already yours on the inside. You have discovered that you are the cosmic tuning fork, and that the sustained purity of your frequency commands the orchestration of the universe itself. You have felt the invisible tow rope, the gentle but undeniable pull of your future self, who has already arrived at the destination and extends love as guidance. You have learned to treat your body as the soul's GPS, discerning the calm resonance of genuine recognition from the frantic excitement of the ego. And finally, you have assumed the posture of the quantum gardener receiving the first sprout, not with panic or doubt, but with the calm certainty of harvest, maintaining an open hand so reality itself may rest within it. With this new understanding, the concept of the echo of future reality, expands into something even more magnificent. It is not merely the universe sending signs from some distant realm. It is you engaged in an ongoing dialogue with yourself across the dimensions of time. Every synchronicity, every echo is a love note, an intimate message of encouragement from your higher self to your human self, whispering, "I am here." We are doing this. Trust the process. Your presence here, receiving these words, was never the result of a blind algorithm. It was an act of self-love orchestrated by the wisest and most eternal part of you. The fact that your quantum leap is already in motion is the definitive proof that you are not a limited being waiting for rescue. You are a multidimensional creator, one who imprints intention directly onto the fabric of time and space. The quantum field, then, is not an external force to be persuaded. It is the infinite canvas of your extended consciousness. Every sign you perceive is your own higher intelligence communicating with your conscious awareness, gently guiding you back to the home of your truth, your sovereignty, your original identity. In this light, manifestation is no longer about the desperate pursuit of new circumstances or possessions. It becomes the natural byproduct of something infinitely deeper, the sacred journey of remembrance. It is the return to knowing yourself as a being of unlimited power, innate peace, and timeless wisdom. The new reality that materializes is simply the inevitable consequence of this recognition. And yet, as you step out of this space of clarity and back into the rhythms of daily life, you must be prepared. The old programming will be tested. There will be days when three-dimensional reality seems heavy, almost immovable, and doubt whispers with persuasive force. The voice of fear, of skepticism, of limitation conditioned by years of forgetting may rise again loud and demanding. But you must understand, this chaos is not regression. It is not proof that nothing has changed. On the contrary, it is the death rattle of the old matrix, the static of a frequency being permanently shut down. When resistance, fear, or doubt surface, your task is not to fight them, not to panic, not to surrender your energy to them. Your task is to witness them with the same calm sovereignty with which you now receive the positive signs. Recognize them as the final echoes of a dissolving past. See them for what they are, the noise of a fading station no longer aligned with the frequency you now inhabit. They cannot bind you unless you believe in them. They cannot delay you unless you grasp them. They are only reminders of what you have already transcended. This is your mastery to remain stable, open-handed, unshaken. To continue walking as the gardener, the tuning fork, the sovereign being who knows the harvest is inevitable. To feel the pull, to hear the whispers, to nod with calm recognition rather than frantic grasping. This is the essence of your quantum leap. The remnants of your old reality are nothing but powerless ghosts unless you choose to animate them with your attention. Your peace is your shield. Your calm presence, the unshakable fortress of your becoming. To remain centered and stable in your new frequency, even as chaos swirls around you, is to make your final, irrevocable declaration: the choice has been made. You are no longer waiting for the new reality, you are the new reality. You are no longer a passive seeker, but a deliberate architect. No longer at the mercy of external conditions, you stand as the force that shapes them, bending circumstance through the stability of your being. And know this, you are not alone. In awakening to this power, you have joined a vast movement of consciousness, a global wave of souls remembering their true nature and co-creating a new earth. Every act of inner calibration, every moment you stabilize your vibration contributes to the upliftment of the whole. Your coherence strengthens the field for all. Now, with the ability to recognize the echoes of future reality, and more importantly, to receive them with sovereign grace, you are ready to step into a higher initiation, the active calibration of your nervous system and energy field, transforming yourself into an even more powerful and irresistible magnet for the reality that already belongs to you. Your body must learn to sustain the voltage of this expanded consciousness. In our next journey, we will enter the practical and physical techniques of materialization methods to adjust your nervous system, harmonize your energy centers, and transform your body into a living portal through which your quantum leap can anchor fully, quickly, and permanently. This is the sacred union of spirit and matter of heaven and earth within you. Until then, breathe deeply into your sovereignty and walk with the silent certainty of one who knows the new reality is already here, greeting you as its rightful creator.